Hello and how's everyone doing today? Welcome to the channel. If you're new, if you're a returning viewer, I'm glad to have you back and welcome to another episode of Justin Talks Games. Today, I'd like to talk about Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag Resynced. That is the remake of Assassin's Creed 4. There's a reason why I'm doing this. We'll get into that in a little bit. I want to say I just finished watching the presentation they did probably about half an hour ago, but now I had some free time and, I was able to make a video now. So to be honest, I'm very happy with everything that I saw. I did have some concerns before they did their presentation and stuff. I was like, I hope they don't turn it into RPG. I hope they don't make it modern. They don't do blah, 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 And I think I talked about that kind of stuff in a previous Justin Talks games. So I'm not going to get into that whole thing. But I was very happy with everything that I saw. So yeah, let's get into why I said, like this. Now I'm not making fun of it. I'm not bashing it. It looks good actually, and I'm happy that it blah 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 blah. Happy that it exists. Apparently, I cannot talk today. So remakes usually make big strides, right? To use an example of this, we'll use Resident Evil 1 as an example of a very, very good remake. You have PlayStation 1, obviously they do with what they can, and it turned out very well. It's actually still one of my favorite games ever. And then you have the remake in 2002 on the GameCube. Now, that jump from that to that, in terms of, visuals, was breathtaking. It was like, holy crap, this is what the mansion actually looks like. Like, what? And your jaw hits the floor. Like, it's visually like, holy crap, right? Gameplay was similar to the original, but they added some things like the defense weapons and changed some puzzles and this and that. But overall, it was a very good remake. They added rooms, added this, blah blah blah, right? But going back to Assassin's Creed 4, using Resident Evil 1 as the example, um, the graphics, they are amazing. They are beautiful. Don't get me wrong. They look very good. I'm not bashing that at all. But how do I explain this? So it's almost like, Assassin's Creed 4 came out on PlayStation 3 and PlayStation 4. Obviously, the PS4 had a lot more processing power, graphical power, so there was a difference, a noticeable difference between the PS3 version and the PS4 version. I played both. So I remember playing the PS3 version, and even on the PS3, it looked amazing. It looked very good. And, in my opinion, even to this day, it still looks very good. When I jumped over and tried the PS4 one, it was almost like playing a remake, right? It was such a difference in terms of graphics, lighting, just everything, right? The water looked so much different. The ground looked like, the sand had individual, like granules, whatever. Like, they did such a beautiful, beautiful job. In terms of between the two consoles. But if you take the PS4 version versus the remake now on PS5, there there is a visual difference. Like, I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to say there's no difference. There is a visual difference, of course. Especially the water. The water looks a lot better. Especially when you're near land. So, like, when you can see through the water and you can see the sand underneath and everything, that looks beautiful. Honestly, looks very, very good. I don't really care much for the rain. It looks like it's just a filter over the screen. A lot of games just do that, and it's not great. It doesn't look good when they do that. But anyway, that's what it looks like they did. They put the filter over the screen, and it had droplets, come out a bit further onto the whatever physical object is outside or whatever. So that'd be like the ship or the characters, whatever. So much far out. You have your visual distance, and then so far out the water drops will go so far. And that's what it seems like they did for this game, unfortunately. But anyway, everything looks very, very good. But when you put them side by side, yes, there's a difference, but it's not like, example, it's not like Resident Evil 1 to, Remake 1, right? It's not like, holy crap, this looks so real, looks so crazy. While yes, there's like, wow, this actually looks really nice, looks really good, but it's not like the, oh my God, reaction, right? Again, and if we go to gameplay, the gameplay is essentially identical to the original game, and I'm not complaining about that. That's one of the things I'm actually very happy about, because I'm not one for the RPG games. I don't care for them. I'm not gonna make this whole video into a rant, but I really disliked when they made the games this huge open world, and then they completely changed how the characters controls and all that. Just, oh man, I did not like that at all. I hated the shift that Ubisoft went. So the fact that this remake I should say, has the exact same controls, obviously with some new animations and stuff to make it more fluid and smoother, which, I don't have a problem with that, obviously, but it feels more like an extended or a heightened remaster more than anything. And that's not a knock on them. That's not knocking them down. Again, I'm very pleased with what I saw, but that's how I feel. It feels like this is more of just an extended, more worked on remaster. If you look at the comparison pictures of the locations and stuff, yeah, they look different, but they don't look so different that it'd be, again, like a remake. And they said that they basically did all this from the ground up. It's all handcrafted and everything, but I can't see that. I honestly don't see that. To me, it just feels like a remaster. They took the original game and they just added on to it, right? They just put some, basically they flashied it up. It's a lot more flashier and looks a lot better. But again, I'm not complaining. Also, on top of that, make sure to grab your drink. Apparently, my drink's empty. Anyways, but yeah, it just feels like a more, I guess, a more advanced remaster. But again, that's not a bad thing. They added more stories to it, which is good. What else they add? They add more stories. You can get more crew members now for your ship, which is pretty cool because your ship was kind of not bland, but kind of empty. So you're gonna be able to get more crew members, which is cool. And the cool thing about the crew members is that these crew members that you can get actually have, they have skills in certain areas, so they can help you in combat for your ship. Apparently, you can get some more extra weapons for your ship, which are, that's pretty cool. Another thing they said is you have to actually, battle the weather. So, you actually have to, try and combat what do you call it? The weather. So like the storms and stuff, you have to be careful and all that. You had to do that minimally in the original one. If there was a big wave, you just duck down and go, hold. And, that was it. So I don't know if it's going to be the same in this one or not, since they're using the same animations essentially with some new ones added on. But yeah, it looked pretty interesting, when he said, yeah, you got to combat the storms, and, you have your actual ship combat, and you have this and that. So I was like, okay, that's pretty cool that they're, really working on that stuff too. So that I was happy to see. They kept the shanties in. I mean, that's an obvious, but I'm really happy they kept the shanties in because there's some really, really good ones that I like listening to while I'm just, sailing the open seas. Um, yeah, I don't have anything bad to say about this. I'm very, very happy. I'm very happy that they did not go the RPG. Actually, that's what I was going to say. That's the funny thing. When they were talking about the game in the presentation, the one guy, I don't remember if it was the voice actor or if it was one of the developer guys. I can't remember. But either one, he he was like talking about the game and how it runs and blah 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 and stuff. And then, he just point blank goes, "Yeah, this game is not an RPG." And I was like, "Yes." I was so happy to hear that. Obviously, they know that we don't really care for RPG games much anymore. So when he said that, just yeah, this game's gonna be great. Just it's there's not gonna be any DLC. It's a single player experience. Da 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 da, and it's not an RPG. When he said that, I was so happy to hear that, and I see so many comments online also cheering and so happy that the game is they didn't go down the RPG route. So with all the fails that Ubisoft has had, that's one win. Um, but will it carry the company? I mean, because Ubisoft is not in a good way right now. Especially, I don't know their other games, but at least for Assassin's Creed, it's been going downhill really, really bad. Especially with their newest game, Assassin's Creed Shadows, that came out last year, 2 years ago. I think it was last year. I don't remember. Um, yeah, last year because I think it came out nearly the same time as Silent Hill F. I could be wrong. But anyway, that game didn't do very good at all. It got hated on so bad. Um, and in a sense, rightly so, because the quality of that game is not good. And I'm not going to change the subject here. But yeah, it didn't do very good. The animations are terrible. The English voice work is very stiff. It's not good at all. Um, but visually, from what I saw of Shadows, visually it looked pretty nice, not bad. But again, to me, it was just another generic RPG open world, and I didn't really give a shit about it. If I'm being bluntly honest, I was just like, oh, another open world RPG, Assassin's Creed. Okay, anyways, and that was it. And I haven't played it. I have every single Assassin's Creed game, um, not including the side scroller ones. I'm missing two of those. I have the one Ezio one, but I have every single Assassin's Creed game minus the two side scrollers and Black Flag, which again I'm surprised, and Shadow, which I have no intention of playing. Um, so yeah, I'm really looking forward to Black Flag. If I already had Black Flag, in my game shelf, I probably wouldn't be like, oh, I'm gonna go get it right now. I'm gonna go get it, but because I don't own it, I'm hoping they do a physical edition. Well, actually, yeah, they are because there's a collector's edition, so obviously they're doing a physical edition. Um, that's the version I'm probably gonna get. I'm probably gonna get the remake, I guess, because to me it's just like a heightened, like I said, it's just like an extended remaster, or what's the new term when they update a game to the newest basically a next gen upgrade. If we're being bluntly honest, it's basically a next gen upgrade with some added features, which is pretty cool. Not complaining. But I'll probably just get that because I don't have the actual Black Flag. Um, my ex has the Black Flag. She has the collector's edition of it. I didn't buy it at the time, but she got it. So I have all the games except the Black Flag. So I got to get that. So I'll probably get the remastered version, even though it's called a remake. I'm calling it a remaster, but I'll probably get that version. Um, yeah. So, oh, and one more thing. Apparently, you can have pets. You can have a cat or a monkey. I thought that was quite interesting. So I'm definitely going to get a pet. It comes out July 9th. So that's interesting. But anyway, like I said, not much to complain about. I'm very happy with everything that I saw. To me, it's more of a remaster than a remake, like a next gen upgrade. Again, nothing wrong with that. Let me know your thoughts, your opinions on the Black Flag remake. If you guys seen the trailer or the presentation, let me know what you guys think. Until next time, I hope you all have a very wonderful, good day. Peace out, homies.